Welcome, everybody. This is Waiting Room Podcast, and I'm your host, Kyle Waite. Today, I wanted to cover a few different things. We've got the NBA play-in tournament going on right now. We've also got the SEC donating $23 million to each school. Meanwhile, we can't pay student athletes, or at least allow them to make their own money, because that's wrong. Got some thoughts on baseball and Tony La Russa coming out and complaining about swinging the bat when you're up big late in a game. And finally, I just kind of want to cover how we're shaped by our own experiences. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. Currently, we've got the NBA playing game going on. I love it. I love every part of this. I love that more teams have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't necessarily call it a playoff, but I like it. It gives teams a reason. Wish it had been here a few years ago, then I could call the Kings a fake playoff team, at least, longer than over a decade ago. But, the Celtics beat the Washington Wizards, so they are in. They play the Brooklyn Nets, who, for all intents and purposes, is got to be the favorite to win the title, being that the Lakers are injured. Washington now plays Indiana, who won their game against, I think what we're calling it, Charlotte now? Charlotte. It's not the Bobcats, it's the Hornets again. So we've got those two playing tomorrow. I'll be honest, I hope Washington wins. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, it's a more entertaining team. They're going to get waxed, most likely, by Philly anyway. But, everything's driven by superstars. I like watching good players play, even knowing they're going to get just massacred by that one seed. As I was just talking about the Lakers play Golden State. We've got an hour or so, maybe a little less. The winner of that goes on to play Phoenix. The loser plays the winner of who's playing right now, the Grizzlies and Spurs. And again, I'm going to tell you, whoever loses the game between the Warriors and the Lakers, they've got to win. I live in San Antonio. I don't want to watch the Spurs. I don't. They're boring. This isn't Tim Duncan. This isn't Kawhi Leonard. This isn't Tony Parker. This is a boring team. They're hard to watch. Give me the Lakers. Give me the Warriors. I don't care which version they come in. Obviously, I'd love if the Lakers lost tonight, lost the playing game. They'd be sitting exactly where the Kings are. LeBron James would be crying. I'd be happy. I just, for watchability, give me Warriors, give me Lakers. Transitioning, we want to go to college football. The SEC threw out $23 million per school to each 14 schools. $23 million. And yet we still are at a place where college athletes don't get paid. It blows my mind. I don't even think the NCAA needs to pay them. However, it blows my mind that you say, hey, we're going to throw $23 million. But don't you dare go make your own money. I do love college teams. However, I don't watch for the uniform. I watch because hopefully that team is good. I don't think I would have ever paid attention to the state of Alabama except for the friends that I have there and Alabama football. That's it. Clemson, South Carolina, would that be a place on the map without college sports? For those people from South Carolina, I'm sorry. I don't think I would have come and visited there. I don't think you would have either, if not for a historically famous university. Even before this current run, where they're at least in the conversation. Nobody cares about Clemson, South Carolina. They don't. But what blew my mind the most is the SEC is, hey, you guys can throw this money at whatever you want. They put disclaimer, we'd like you to spend it on the academic, athletic, nutrition and mental health needs of your student athletes. That's what they'd like. That's what they'd like. Hey, I'd like all of the money that we have going to various sources actually go for what they need. Uh, whether it's government spending, whether it's how your job allocates money to things that involve you directly. Yeah, I'd love to say that all that money gets allocated correctly. However, you know that they're probably going to put some of it into sports, and then one day somebody's going to have some weird excess, and somebody's going to get a bonus, and we still can't let our student athletes get paid. I it just it kills me. I think the bigger part. I mean, I'm not an NCAA advocate. I don't. Most big organizations are there. Hey, we're a nonprofit, but we're making money. Eh, you know what? If again, if the NFL is labeled nonprofit and they're still raking in billions of dollars a year, the NCAA Student Assistance Fund usually covers insurance, clothes, computer necessities, things that a college student athlete would need. That got cut from 87.1 million to 27.3 million because of COVID. And that all makes sense. You figure money would dwindle. You figure people would lose out, even big organizations. They lose a piece of the pie. But while they're losing, I would assume this money comes from a collective of donors or something of that nature, to where you see them cut 2/3 of that spending, and yet you see SEC teams throwing $23 million at 14 schools. Uh, that's great. I'm glad they can help themselves out. I want some equality. I want them to say, hey, you know what? We're here to make our money. I don't think money's the only reason people should be going to college, but the ability to. Wouldn't that be nice? Just, hey, we're going to let you operate like every other business does. We're not going to pay you, but if somebody wants to slide you some money for doing some work on the side, you want to do some car commercials, you want to do something at the local Piggly Wiggly, you know, why not? Why not? Who are they hurting? I mean, it's America. It's, the capitalism, it's what capitalism is. We want people to have the ability to make money. And they're some of these people are at the best place they'll ever be at making money. Some of them are really talented at their sport, and they'll go on to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's great for them. Some of these guys are really well educated. They actually go to school for school and will get great jobs just based off the fact they have got a nice degree from a big school. But it still kills me that we're going to say, hey, you're at your highest possible earning level, at 18, 19, 20, 21, probably going to blow their money anyway, but let them have the ability to. Who cares? Is it a big deal? No. It's not. But again, let these organizations, let these schools, let these conferences make all their money, do what they want with it, and then we're going to keep poo-pooing student athletes. I know their scholarship's worth a lot of money, and I used to feel that way. Really did. I really used to feel that student athletes degree. Eh, we all grow up. And again, just arguing billionaires for millionaires. It's not going to happen. And I'm not saying schools are billionaires. And the athletes are the little guys. It kills. I don't understand. I guess I beat the dead horse enough. Again, pro student athlete, let them make money. Come on. It caught my eye. I know most people don't watch baseball. It's 2021. Who cares? It's a lot of standing around. It's a lot of watching. It's a lot of waiting. Guys hit the ball at a success rate. If you're successful, you hit the ball, where it's supposed to go 1 out of every 3 times. That's a successful baseball player. I still love it. I grew up watching it. I have some sort of fond childhood memories of watching baseball, whether it was on TV, in person. You know what? I'm just at a place where I like what I like. I still like baseball. I don't follow it as much as I used to. I used to not miss a Red Sox game. I have a life. I have a family. I have stuff to do. So it caught my eye when one of the top stories for baseball was what was a manager apologizing for his rookie hitting a ball. At first, I was like, okay, well, did he fly out? No. He hit a home run. He hit a home run. And the argument was, oh, well, we were up big. It was late. He had 3 balls and no strikes. And for people that don't care about baseball, if you have 3 balls and you get another one, you automatically get to walk to base. And that's great. But if some pitcher is just going to throw a strike right down the middle, I would hope that the guys that are paid to entertain us are trying to beat the snot out of that ball. It's crazy. Now they came out later and said, hey, it's not a big deal. There's no division in the clubhouse. And to a point, I'd probably agree, but here's where I disagree. Tony La Russa was born in 1944. 1944. You guys want to know some real popular things going on in 1944? The Battle of Normandy. World War II was going on in 1944 when this man was born. The jitterbug. I guess it's kind of entertaining, maybe a little more so when you've been drinking, but the jitterbug was the most popular dance in 1944. Bing Crosby. Hey, I know he's got a list of other problems, but in 1944, he had the top 3 songs in the U.S. Maybe our taste was just that bad in 1944. Maybe we weren't taking account for everything we should have in 1944. But the top 3 songs in America in 1944 were by Bing Crosby. And finally, Fun Dip and York Peppermint Patties were the most popular candy in 1944. Now, as a kid, I love Fun Dip. Sometimes nothing tastes better than a frozen peppermint patty. I don't think at any point in my life either of those were my favorite candy. But 1944, those were 2 of the most popular candies. I would say there's probably a little division. There's probably a little of, why is this old guy jumping on me about hitting a ball when it's my job? Now, to give you some backstory, and I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name. He's from the Dominican Republic. I believe it's Yermin Mercedes. He's a 28-year-old rookie. 28. Imagine a world where you are 28 years old and getting to live out your dream. You signed in 2011. You signed in 2011. He's been working 10 years. He was 18. He's been working 10 years to get to this point. And his own manager is upset with him, or was upset, at least publicly came out and admonished him. But 28 years old, gets to live his dream, but shame on you for swinging at a pitch because somebody threw it right down the pipe. I think it's one of those. I understand it's an unwritten rule. I do. It's an unwritten rule. But those kind of things got to go. We're playing a game. I mean, I know that end of football games, it's, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. The end of basketball games, drain the clock, go for a layup, don't shoot threes. Don't shoot, wide open threes, just because you're up. Again, these guys are all getting paid. They're getting paid to entertain. I understand a certain amount of sportsmanship goes into things. I do. Sportsmanship matters. But so do these guys' careers. At a certain point, we always say it's a business, it's a business, it's a business. Anytime a guy gets cut. But come on. This guy's getting paid. And he's 28. 28-year-old rookie. It's probably the only chance he's going to have to get paid. I mean, I think the contract structure for Major League Baseball players is probably another podcast. It's long, it's drawn out, and the way contracts work in professional American baseball is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But again, this 28-year-old rookie, Yerman Mercedes, began his career. He's the first guy to ever do it. Began his career, 8 straight hits. First guy in his career to start his season that way. And those are the first 8 hits of his career. He's currently leading baseball in batting average. Or at least he was as of this morning. I don't get it. Okay, let me take that back. I do get it. I actually do. It's an age thing. It's an age thing. How Tony La Russa came up. Again, 1944. With all of the crazy stuff going on in 1944, I kind of see why he's the way he is. It actually brings me into the personable part of this, or I guess personal part of this podcast today. We are all shaped by our experiences. We all are. Where you come from, how you were raised, all of the stuff that happened from the time that you were born, or at least what you can remember, to the time you go, shapes who you are. And Tony La Russa's made it clear, hey, I don't like that stuff. And the only explanation is he was shaped by his experience. His experiences, we have a workman way of doing things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that we are in a day and age where we want to be entertained. Baseball's a dying sport. I still love it. I'm sure all of the guys, the older people that watch it, still watch it. I'm sure for a lot of people it brings a lot of joy. I know I still enjoy watching and going to Red Sox games. I do. But it's a dying sport. I think 5-6 years ago, the big issue was bat flipping. If you crush a home run in a playoff game to win a game, I throw that thing to the outfield for all I care. I want you to have fun. I want you to be excited. If you strike a guy out in a big moment, I think it's the funniest thing in the world when guys get mad because the guy's yelling after he struck him out. But at the same time, we're mad about bat flipping. We're mad about guys swinging late. We're mad about a guy, I guess maybe throwing the ball at another player, probably a little below the pale. Nobody likes getting shown up. But again, these unwritten rules, a lot of them are just shaped by their experiences. Baseball's an older sport. I hate pointing it out. It's a whiter sport. We don't get a whole lot of excitement out of baseball unless it's typically people of color. I don't want to target anybody there, but that's kind of the God's honest truth is typically it's a Hispanic guy or a black guy that's getting real excited about a big moment. Occasionally you get the big white pitcher that's excited, but a lot of the Hispanic pitchers are the ones that get excited and pumped up and happy they did well at their job. And I know if I was at my job, if you were at your job, and you did something good or even great and jumped up, pumped your fist, and yelled and got in somebody's face, maybe it'd make some people uncomfortable. But if you sat somebody down and explained it to them, hey, look, I'm just happy I did well at my job. You would lose some people. You'd definitely lose some people. But to a point, you'd have a lot of people, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're all shaped by our experiences. We all come to conclusions based on what we've experienced. I come from a single-parent household. So I kind of grew up not knowing exactly what to do when it came to dad stuff until my friends told me. My mom drove me to games, soccer games, football games, basketball camp. My mom did all that for me. I didn't realize until I got older and was handed an electric razor. I guess my mom probably could have taught me how to shave. My mom doesn't shave her face. But all that, dad stuff, I didn't know what to do. So all I did is I balled that up into, a little collection of information when I got older. And it's like, hey, I need to do my best to be there for my son. to teach him these things, the things that I missed out on. I was fortunate enough to have a few male role models in my life to teach me right and wrong, how to change my oil, how to drive. Unfortunately, the military taught me how to shave, so still get a lot of bumps. It's either a skin thing or, you know what, I'm just doing it wrong. But hey, the military taught me. They said, hey, hurry up and do it. That's how I was taught. So if I don't have an electric razor and it looks like somebody took a chainsaw to my face after I shave, thank you, military. Another thing I experienced while joining the military. That is where I learned what racism is. It's not where I learned what it is. It's the first time I experienced it. And it sounds silly, like we're all taught, or at least I was. I know everybody in the Tri-City area up in Redding, California, was taught what racism is. But Redding, California is largely white, it's largely Hispanic, and we've got a decent Asian community there. I think the last time I went home, I saw a handful of black families, and that's how it's always been there. So I did not grow up with knowing exactly what racism looked like. I didn't treat anybody different because we all got treated like crap by the cops in town. Everybody did. Everybody did. Just like, hey, don't do something bad because the police might come. And at that time, they just wanted to bust you. And realistically, if you weren't doing anything major, you know, I grew up in a town where they kind of just brushed it off as kids being kids. My experience, I don't know what they did with the adults. My experience was, hey, knock on the door. No kid was hopefully dumb enough to answer the door. Hey, if anybody's drinking, make sure you have a sober driver. If you don't, stay here for the night. And they take off. Now, I'm sure other people have different experiences, but that was my experience in town. In addition, I was told to respect those police officers. I was raised to a point where, hey, if you do something where a police officer gets called, you do the best impression you can of an upstanding young man. That's what. Shut up, smile, say yes, sir, no, sir, I'm sorry, sir. Politely explain things to them if they give you the opportunity. But I was raised to largely keep my mouth shut until I was spoken to by a police officer. That's how I was raised. And to the story that I'm going to tell you, it really benefited me. To that point, for the most part, I had one or two run-ins with police officers that didn't go great, and you don't always have good days. And that's what chalked it up to. But the story I will tell you is that wasn't a bad day. These were bad people. And it involves a black police officer. It's probably 2010, and my buddy Adam asked if I could help him move. We were all deploying to different places at the time. He said, hey, I get off at 11 p.m. I don't have anybody else to help other than my two kids. I need some help. Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? Load up the truck. You know, I worked the shift prior to his, so I didn't have anything to get to in the morning. But hey, man, I'll help you out. Move stuff, crack some jokes, make fun of his kids, Peach Fuzz, just that little wispy mustache growing. Men, don't let your kids grow it. It just looks silly. We load up the truck. We go to the storage place. Most storage places in the area had fences around them to prevent people from stealing. Makes sense. You have a business. You don't want anybody saying anything bad about it. So you do that. We had a special code to get into the gate. Your normal code wouldn't get you in the gate late at night. But Adam got a code from the owner of the storage facility, put it in. Big U-Haul. I can't tell you what size the U-Haul was, but picture U-Haul, picture the biggest size U-Haul they have, and that's what we were moving. We're not trying to hide anything. It was real obvious. Couldn't hide it if you wanted to. We unload everything to the storage unit, close the truck, close the storage unit. And I don't know if they were waiting. We didn't see them creep up, but police officer, police sirens start going off. We turn around, they're right there. They say, "Stop what you're doing." We all stop what we're doing. It's myself. At that point, it's myself, Adam, and his oldest son. I didn't think it was a big deal. Again, we knew what we were doing was okay. But we stand there. Again, I was told to respect police officers, so I did. It's really unfortunate, but it's what happens. I stand there for a little bit. They finally get through the gate. I'm not exactly sure how. I didn't let them in. But they all get in the gate, ask us for our IDs. Adam and I are adults. I was 20 at the time. I believe Adam was, later 20s. His son was 16, 17. Didn't have an ID. They take my ID. I'm listening because I'm nosy. I hear Kyle Wade from California, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool, whatever. This is where his story turns really, really messed up. At that point, they ask Adam, to step away from his son. They get his son away from us. Now, the issue is at that time, I don't know if Arkansas laws have changed. They're trying to separate him from his son. He didn't give them permission to question his son, but didn't stop him from it. But the point where they clear my name, say, "Oh, no, he's got no wants or warrants. Nothing's going on with him." They kind of ignored me. Should have been a huge red flag. But again, 20-year-old Kyle, I stood there and waited, assumed everything was on the up and up, because again, we did nothing wrong. We knew where we were supposed to be. We were doing the right thing. We were complying with officers. But again, they largely ignored me. It was like once they saw, hey, this white dude doesn't have anything on him, they focused on Adam and his son. And it blew my mind because we told him, hey, look, we're in the military. We're here moving late because he got off work late. But he also deploys in a week. That's why we were moving at the time we were. It was less than a week at that point. But they really hammered home, like, why are you guys here? We've had a lot of thefts in the area. Weird. We hadn't heard anything about it. And, maybe they just wouldn't tell you that. Maybe, I understand. Companies don't want to advertise, hey, we've had break-ins. But at that point, you kind of sit there and like, have you had a lot of break-ins? Or are you more interested in the two black guys while you're ignoring the one white guy? Because again, they ignored me. They ignored the heck out of me. And this is where I'll say I was wrong. Because up until the point where Adam tells everyone, hey, this is my first sergeant's number. Unless we're being detained, we're leaving. That was the appropriate response. Adam got loud once with the police officer. She said, I did not give you permission to speak to my son. You need to bring him back over here. And ironically, it was the black cop. It was the black cop kept trying to separate the, Adam's son from the group. And it blew my mind because you hear that kind of stuff and it's unfortunate. But you hear that, I think the line in the song goes, black police showing out for the white cop. It's what it seemed like. And I want you to know, I'm in law enforcement. Most people I've come across in law enforcement are upstanding people. You don't get that job more often than not being garbage. You don't last long. Unfortunately, we're in a place right now where we see that happen. But it blew my mind that at that point, it's like, oh, racism alive and well. Alive and well. This is 2010 when I realized that. I had been on this earth 21 years. And finally seen, oh, like I got a taste. And again, they didn't bother me. But at that point, it opened my eyes to some of the stuff my friends said, joked about in our shop, just made comments on. Just, hey, they make jokes about it, but you could tell to a point, like it hurts. And when we're talking about what shapes the people we are, shaped by our experiences, think about that. If you grew up constantly thinking the cops are going to do something bad to me, and then you see all the stuff that goes on TV, I mean, it's confirmation bias to a point. And I'll say you should probably take those individual cases for what they are. I don't care how many you see. I don't care. I have friends of all ethnicities in law enforcement. So maybe it is to a point a systemic problem. Maybe. I mean, I'm always open to hearing new information on why things are the way they are. But again, I could see why somebody would believe that if their entire life they were told, hey, because of your skin color, or hey, because of the experiences you've had growing up. I know black dudes that dealt dope when they were younger. I know white dudes that dealt dope when they were younger. But the difference is, I didn't grow up with some of this stuff. I didn't grow up being looked at by cops because of my skin color. They just saw all, teenage kids in my areas rambunctious and stupid and probably breaking a law. Probably. That's just what it is. Uh, you know, on top of being in the military, I've gotten to see and go to some really cool places. Really cool places. I've set foot successfully on all 7 continents in our world. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. It also shapes how I feel about our country. It does. I love living here. I love living here. I love being here. I love my life. I love trying to make my community a better place. I do. It sounds silly. It's not that I don't love those other places. They're just not home. They're just not. If really looking at it, I've been to some real cool European places. I've been in New Zealand. You know, some of those Middle Eastern countries seem real fun to possibly be at, but they're not home. And for some people, it doesn't matter. I've got friends that are like, "Hey, man, I'm out of the U.S. I'm never coming back." I get that too. Uh, I'm probably never moving back to the state of California, but again, my experiences have kind of been shaped that my I don't want to live in the state of California. I like the southern part of this. I'm not trying to move down to Alabama, but Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, they're all fun states to live in if you don't mind it being really hot sometimes. But it kills me because I understand that I've been afforded a lot of opportunities people aren't. It's that's how it is. I've gotten to go to a lot of cool places. I met people in the military that never left base. Kind of be a downer if you join the military to see the world and got to see Arkansas, Missouri, North Dakota. Maybe all nice states to visit, but unless you want to live there, do you really want to say that was your military experience? Was just those places? No, you don't. You want to say that I went to Europe, that I went to Asia, that I went to Australia. You want to say that you went to these cool places. But going to those places made me realize, I love where I'm at. I want to make it the place I want to live in. It's why I'm in law enforcement. I want to make my community a better place. That's really what it is at the end of the day. I want to make my community. I want to go to somebody else's community and make it a better place. I want to go to my community. I just do. But again, it's shaped by my experiences. I don't know that I need to really hit a whole lot more there. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we really need to look at each other. I mean, I know we all have friends that don't believe the same stuff we do. And yet you're still friends with those people. But if a stranger believes the stuff you don't, you're real quick to call it out. I mean, just remember, they're shaped by your experiences. They're shaped by theirs. And I understand there's people all out there for the money. There's people that are just doing stuff to get attention. I get that. But maybe keep in the back of your mind that, hey, their experiences are different than mine. They are. And even some people that have experienced some of the stuff that you did, they may have seen it differently. That's just what it is. My last one, I didn't do a whole lot of research on it, so if anybody wants to chat about this offline, if anybody wants to come on the podcast and go more in depth with it, but it got brought up, and it's one of those things that it bugs me. It does. Now, California's instituted a mandate to teach critical race theory. That's all well and good. I'm all for the education of people. I am. But when we're saying you have to learn this, this isn't sex ed where you can teach kids, hey, this is what safe sex is, and this is what STDs are. You're teaching kids to identify each other by their skin color. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just saying teaching kids at a real young age, maybe it'll be beneficial. I'm okay with being wrong. I said that in my first episode. I'm okay being wrong. Really am. But when you go on teaching kids that you're going definitely going to be treated differently because of your skin color, or these laws are definitely racist. Some are. Again, I'm open for the conversation, but you have some people that are going to take that and run with it. And they will tell you, no matter what you do, your skin color defines you. Now, it can shape your experiences. It can get you treated differently. But I thank God that my son lives in a state where he's not going to have to learn because he's Asian. He's going to get treated differently. My son's fortunate enough to have grown up in two places now, multiple places. But in multiple places where his skin color wasn't an issue. And he's 11. It'll come. It will come. I'm not prepared for it. I'm white. I'm very noticeably white. I will not know how to talk to my son when he comes and tells me somebody treated him like crap because he's Asian. Somebody made an Asian joke he didn't like. I don't know what to do. But I'll have the conversation with him. I'll be there for him. I'll love him. Might want to go find the kid that made the joke to hurt his feelings and hurt that kid. Probably not. Probably their parent. Probably, realistically, probably nobody. But I'm not prepared for it. Not at all. I know it's coming. But to teach young children that you're definitely getting treated differently because you are a different color. I don't know. I don't agree with it. We just had a Space Force commander removed because he wrote a book. He wrote a book that he was passed by his superiors, and maybe his superiors were all white. But we just had a Space Force commander removed from his job because he said critical race theory is trash. That we need to remove critical race theory from the military. I don't disagree. Again, I'm open to the conversation. But when I joined the military, I don't think it's so long ago that it was so different. I'm sure we still had the same issues, and I just didn't see them the same way. But when I joined the military, we were all equally worthless. It's a joke. We all laugh about it. I think it's hilarious. But in the military's eyes, it's like, no, we're all worthless. It doesn't matter. We had a guy who had never met a black person. Like, met one, had a real conversation with them until he was in his 20s. Because, he joined the military. We had a kid from Ghana who I think drove the drill instructor crazy because he could not understand him. But we were all taught, like, hey, you're all a team. You're all garbage. And I just, I grew out of the we're all worthless and got to the point where I was like, no, we're all worthwhile. Everyone here is worth something. It's on the leaders to find out what. But to a certain point, it came to the arrival that we are all worthwhile. You just got to find it. Or make best use of those people that you consider worthless. But I don't disagree that critical race theory is to a point a little harmful. Because we're teaching people that it does not matter. You do not matter as an individual. That you will be treated differently because of your skin color. And I think it's important to educate people that they can be treated differently because of their skin color. I just don't think it's a genuine thing to teach kids or young adults. Hey, maybe you're medium-aged adults. I don't know. But I think it's crazy to say, hey, we're going to teach kids, we're going to teach it in the military, that critical race theory, that you'll definitely get treated differently because of your skin color. I don't think it's helpful. I just don't. I'm open for the discussion. If somebody knows more about critical race theory and has a friend that wants to discuss it with me offline on the podcast, I don't mind. I like information. I like learning. It makes me happy. I think I beat the dead horse enough, guys. I think the last thing I'll leave you with is, again, just treat each other like we're worth something. I mean, I get frustrated every day with people. And at the same time, like, you know what? I am having a day, they're having a day, something could be going on. But again, it's kind of on us to find that worthwhile thing in people. Even for a moment. Hey, person cut you off? Yeah. You know what? Let's give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were going somewhere important. I need to work on it too. I'm not perfect. Friday, I've got one of my buddies coming on. We are going to talk Atlanta sports, and I'm going to have him share some of his story. For those of you that liked Ben Kelly's story, again, share that. I'm hoping that you're all as entertained Friday by the next story that gets shared. Again, like, share, put the word out there if you like what you're hearing. Again, if you have questions, comments, things you want covered on the show, just general questions for me. KyleTheWait@gmail. KyleTheWait@gmail. I've also finally got up the YouTube. If you're watching it here, maybe you don't want to watch it on YouTube. Maybe you do want to watch it on YouTube. Waiting Room Podcast is finally up on YouTube. And lastly, Instagram. I'm not the best content creator, but I'll keep trying to put up more stuff. WR Podcast Official on Instagram. Lastly, I want to throw a shout out to the person who finally did my logo, Brittany Crum. It's my brother's girlfriend. She's great. I appreciate your help with all this. Again, if anybody else wants to help out, throw it out there. I'd love to have you on. I'd love to hear your story. Love to just chop it up. As always, thank you to Taj TV for supporting me, and Truth Valley Church for those that are seeking an online religious community. I'll see y'all Friday. Y'all have a good night.